My wife falsely accused me, took the kids, and ruined my life. Years later, I got rich. Then she came for child support. I turned the tables in a way she never saw coming. Hello Reddit I plus here. My wife Lauren and I had been married for 9 years. We had 2 kids, Jack and Olivia, 6 and 4 at the time. I wasn't perfect, but I was faithful, present, and working 2 jobs to build a future for us. We were finally getting out of debt, starting to talk about buying a house. I thought we were in a good place. Then, without warning, she accused me of something unspeakable. She told the police I had gotten violent, that I'd hit her. She claimed she had bruises. And suddenly, I was in the back of a squad car, my kids screaming for me as they watched me get taken away. I remember looking at Jack's face pressed to the window, confused, terrified. I'll never forget that look. There was no history of abuse, nothing in my past, but it didn't matter. The system doesn't wait to find out if it's true. It just reacts. Lauren filed for a restraining order the next day, took the kids, told her friends and family I was dangerous. CPS got involved. I was ordered to stay away from my own children. My employer found out and quietly pushed me out for the company's reputation. It didn't matter that the case was later dropped for lack of evidence. The damage was done. My reputation, my relationships, my livelihood, gone. It took over a year and tens of thousands of dollars to even get limited visitation rights. Supervised. I'd see them through a thick pane of glass like I was some kind of criminal. And all the while, Lauren played the perfect mother in public, nodding solemnly when people said how brave she was for surviving. But here's what no one saw. Lauren had been planning it. Later, I found out she'd reconnected with an old boyfriend a year earlier. She wanted to be with him, but didn't want to go through a custody battle or split finances, so she found a way to wipe me out. And it worked. For a while, I moved across the country after the court gave her full custody. With no income, no legal wins, and no visitation rights beyond monthly Zoom calls that she often forgot to schedule, I was forced to start over. I slept in my car for 3 months, did gig work, saved every penny, and then I got a break. A startup I freelanced for liked my work and offered me a partnership when they got funding. I threw myself into it. 3 years later, we sold for 8 figures. Suddenly, I had money, power, resources, but I didn't flaunt it. I kept quiet. I never updated my social media, never posted pictures. I knew how Lauren operated. If she thought I was still broken, she'd stay away. Until one day, I got a letter. She was suing for retroactive child support. She claimed I'd been hiding income, that I'd abandoned our children. She wanted half of everything I'd made since the divorce. Millions. That's when I decided to turn the tables. I hired a private investigator, not just any PI, this one specialized in family law. He dug deep. And what he found wasn't just damning. It was nuclear. While Lauren was busy pretending to be a full-time single mom, she'd been committing fraud. Thousands in unreported income from a side business. False claims on welfare forms. And most damning, multiple recorded instances of parental alienation. Actively coaching the kids to hate me, telling them I left them, feeding them lies about who I was and what I'd done. It was emotional abuse, clear and undeniable. I brought the evidence to court. This time, I had the best legal team money could buy. I didn't just defend myself, I went on the offensive. We petitioned for full custody based on emotional and psychological abuse, neglect, and fraud. We filed a countersuit for defamation and financial damages from the false allegations. She didn't know what hit her. When the judge saw the footage of her yelling at our son for asking to see me, when he read the transcripts of her manipulating our daughter to cry before visitations to cancel them, the tone of the court changed. I'll never forget the moment Lauren realized she was losing. Her hands shook, her voice cracked. The calm, righteous image she'd kept up for years fell apart in seconds, because now, the truth had a voice, mine. The judge awarded me full custody with a mandatory 2-year supervised visitation schedule for her. The financial penalties were severe. Everything she'd fought to take from me, I now held. I didn't smile when I walked out of that courtroom. There was no joy in watching your children's mother fall apart, but there was peace. Not in her pain, but in the truth, finally being seen. I never wanted revenge. I just wanted my life back, and this time, I got it on my terms. It took weeks for it to sink in that I had full custody. The kids came to live with me just before the new school year. The first morning, Jack, now 11, just stood in the kitchen, holding a box of cereal like he didn't know what to do with it. "Do we have to ask permission to eat here?" he said. I almost dropped the coffee mug in my hand. "No, buddy," I said. "You never have to ask for food in this house." That night, Olivia crawled into my bed after a nightmare. She didn't say anything. She just wrapped her arms around me and held on. It had been 5 years since I'd tucked her in. 5 years of missed birthdays, missed hugs, missed everything. It felt like stitching a wound that had been bleeding for half a decade. But healing wasn't easy. They didn't trust peace. They tiptoed around the house at first, apologized for small things, looked over their shoulders when they laughed. It broke my heart. Because this was the damage no court transcript could capture. The slow, invisible rot of lies passed off as love. Lauren didn't take the ruling well. She appealed, of course. Tried to paint herself as a victim of the system. But this time the law wasn't buying it. The judges saw the manipulation, the patterns, the timeline. She wasn't just exposed, she was documented. Still, I didn't keep the kids from her. I let them call her. Supervised visits were awkward, strained. But I didn't speak ill of her. I didn't need to. Time was telling the truth on my behalf. The unraveling. 6 months later, she hit rock bottom. Her boyfriend, the same man she left me for, walked out after the money dried up. She'd been living in a condo he paid for. When he left, she couldn't keep up with the payments. She tried to sell it, but the liens from her fraud case froze the assets. I found out through her sister that she was sleeping on a friend's couch. Jobless. Alone. The sympathy I might have felt years ago wasn't there anymore. What was there, though, was something else. Clarity. Not everything she did was about hate. Some of it was fear. Some of it was the need to be someone she thought the world would admire. The brave single mom. The fighter. The survivor. She'd built her identity on a lie. And once the truth broke through, there was nothing to hold her up. The letter year after I got custody, I got a letter. Handwritten. I never thought it would end this way, it said. I told myself you were the villain so I wouldn't have to feel guilty for what I did. I know I'll never deserve forgiveness, but I hope one day the kids will understand I wasn't strong enough to face the truth. She didn't ask for anything. Not money. Not contact. Just the faint hope that her children might see her one day with kinder eyes. I didn't reply, but I kept the letter. Not out of bitterness. Out of respect for what it represented. A crack in the armor of a person who spent years denying what she did. The kids are doing better now. They're in therapy. They smile more. Laugh without flinching. Jack made the soccer team. Olivia wants to be a writer. Sometimes when she's quiet, she still asks if mom is okay. I tell her the truth. She's trying to be. That counts for something. The real revenge people always ask if getting rich was the best part. Or winning custody. Or exposing the lies. But no. The real revenge was this. Peace. Not the kind that comes from erasing someone. The kind that comes from rebuilding what they tried to destroy and doing it without becoming them. I didn't burn her down. I just stood in the ashes and built something better.